The myth of confidence. How to achieve greatness without it. Lessons from a Secret Service agent. Imagine waking up every day knowing that your life could be on the line. You're tasked with protecting presidents, navigating life-threatening scenarios, and handling high-stakes criminal investigations. Now, ask yourself, would confidence, motivation, or healing be enough to get you through those moments? Hi, I'm Evy Poumpouras. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey, one that reveals why confidence, motivation, and even healing are not prerequisites for success. In fact, these concepts might be holding you back. Instead, I'll show you how to build resilience, reframe fear, and live your life in a way that, when your time comes, you'll look back and say, I lived. Before we dive into this, let me start with a story, one that shaped everything I'm about to share with you. Part 1. You're not that special, and why that's good news. When I first joined the United States Secret Service, I was surrounded by some of the most talented, brave, and skilled individuals I'd ever met. It was humbling. I quickly learned a valuable truth. None of us were special. At first, this realization stung. I'd grown up thinking I was unique, but then I saw the power in this truth. If I wasn't special, neither were my problems. My pain wasn't unique. My challenges weren't insurmountable. This meant that solutions existed, and that I wasn't alone in finding them. Take a moment to reflect on this. How often do we feel isolated because we think our struggles are uniquely ours? In reality, when we recognize that others have walked similar paths and found ways through, we open ourselves to learning from their experiences. Let me share a story. During my time in the Secret Service, I worked the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. The devastation was unimaginable. I was surrounded by suffering, loss, and chaos. But what got me through wasn't confidence. It was the understanding that others had endured and found strength. Part 2. Confidence is overrated. Think about something you've been putting off because you feel unready. Maybe it's starting a business, asking for a promotion, or chasing a dream. How often do we say, I'll do it when I feel confident? Here's the truth. Confidence is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite for it. When I began my career, I had zero confidence in my ability to succeed. My first day of training, I thought I'd fail. When I faced my first interrogation, I doubted myself, but I showed up anyway. Let's consider a relatable example. A student preparing for an exam. They wait for confidence to study, but it never comes. Then there's the student who dives in, regardless of doubt. With every page turned and problem solved, confidence builds. The same principle applies to life. Stop waiting for confidence. Take the first step, no matter how small, and let confidence follow. Part 3. Motivation equals mediocrity. Motivation is fleeting. It's like a spark. It ignites quickly but fizzles out just as fast. If you rely on motivation to achieve your goals, you'll only ever do the bare minimum. When I was in training, we ran miles at 3 a.m., often with no end in sight. There were no pep talks, no bursts of motivation, just grit. And you know what? That's when true strength emerged. Picture this. A marathon runner doesn't rely on the excitement of the starting line to finish the race. They push through pain, fatigue, and doubt because they've built discipline. Part 4. Fear is not your enemy. Fear has gotten a bad reputation. We see it as a weakness, a hurdle to overcome. But fear is actually a tool. It keeps us aware, alert, and alive. However, problems arise when fear becomes an identity. I'm a fearful person is a label I often hear during mentorship sessions. But labels belong on clothes, not people. Consider a young woman I mentored. She wanted to switch careers but was paralyzed by fear. She'd labeled herself as too afraid. I challenged her to reframe fear as a temporary emotion, not a permanent state. She took the leap and succeeded. Part 5. Resilience over healing. Healing and resilience are often conflated, but they're distinct. Healing is about making peace with the past, while resilience is about moving forward despite it. I've faced my own near-death experiences, once during 9/11 and again while giving birth to my daughter. Each time, I realized that resilience isn't about erasing pain. It's about carrying it and continuing to live fully. Think of resilience as a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Small challenges prepare you for bigger ones, and before you know it, your bounce-back rate improves. Part 6. Lessons from real-life stories. Let's look at some examples. The New Yorker study. A fascinating experiment showed how the way you carry yourself influences how others perceive and treat you. Those who walked with deliberate conviction were less likely to be targeted. This underscores the power of projecting confidence, even when you don't feel it. A personal account. A mentee once shared how she overcame debilitating anxiety by simply starting. Her journey wasn't smooth, but every step forward strengthened her resilience. Conclusion. Live so you're ready to go. When your time comes, what will you think about? Not your possessions, not your titles, but whether you truly lived. Remember these key takeaways. You're not alone in your struggles. Confidence and motivation are not prerequisites for action. Fear can be a tool, not a hindrance. Resilience is built through repeated challenges. So, stop waiting. Stop chasing confidence or healing. Take action now, live fully, and when the end comes, you'll be ready to say, I lived. Thank you for joining me on this journey.